Welcome back to another episode of Poetic Therapy where I'm your host, Poetic P, aka Lawrence Ashiel Jr. I'm a poet, I'm an author, all that great stuff. But let's talk about relationships, situationships, complicationships, just all that type of stuff, what it really is, what it really looks like, and let's get into it. So first, we must define what is a relationship. A relationship is defined as any two entities coming together. So that can mean two businesses, two people, two of whatever coming together, two animals, right? Coming together and connecting. That is the basis of a relationship. So just because two things are together does not mean that both parties benefit or that both entities benefit. It simply means that the two of them are together. Thus, they are in a relationship. So first, let's just go ahead and break it down. So there are three types of relationships we're going to talk about today. So let's say that, for example, let's say you and a family member, right? You feel on hard times, your family member lets you move in, right? That relationship can go easily one of three ways. First way, it can be a relationship of mutualism where both of you help each other, right? So even though you move in with that family member or that friend or whoever it is, the relationship, the connection that you two have, you still help out, right? That can look like you wash dishes, that can look like you buy groceries, that could look like you go half on the bill for rent. Like that can look like a lot of different things, right? But in mutualism, both parties get something out of the deal. Both parties benefit from the exchange of being connected together, right? So if you get something, they get something. That is mutualism. The complete opposite of mutualism is parasitism. So what parasitism is, it would be like if you moved in and let's say that you decided you didn't want to help with anything, and you actually hindered the person you move in with. So let's say that you move in with that spouse or that friend or that family member or what have you, and when you move in, you make an effort to eat up all the food. You also overextend the person who's helping you on utilities or bills that they may have. So you're using more electricity, or you're using more water, or you're eating more of the groceries without compensating for it. You're not helping with anything. If anything, you only make the living conditions harder. And so because of that, that would be a parasitic relationship, because you literally are harming the other party that you are connected with, right? One party is harming the next. Type number 3 would be commensalism. Commensalism is simply one party benefits from the other, but neither party is harmed in the interaction, right? So again, going back to the living together situation, that can look like that family member, spouse, friend, whatever, they are allowing you to live there, and you are purchasing groceries for yourself maybe, but not for the entire household. Or you are cleaning your dishes, or you are cleaning after you go to the restroom, or what have you. You're cleaning your space so that you're not causing harm or more burden to them. However, they're not necessarily gaining anything out of the exchange, right? So simply because you are purchasing your own groceries, they don't gain having to buy less groceries because you're purchasing your own, if that makes sense. So no, you're not cutting into their food supply, and you're not increasing their monthly bill, but they're not actually benefiting in any way from you living there, other than the fact that maybe they have somebody to talk to. However, you would be benefiting because you have a roof over your head, or because you have a bed to sleep in, or what have you. So commensalism is one party is not being harmed, however the other party benefits in some shape, form, or fashion. So quick review: we got mutualism, where both people get something out of the deal. We got commensalism, where one person gets something but the other person isn't harmed. And then we got parasitism, which is where one party is getting all the benefits and is actually harming the other party. If you liked the video, don't forget to get your copy of the book Poetic Peace, the Heartfelt Edition. It's available on Barnes & Noble. It's available in the link in description, honestly. But Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, wherever you get your books. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Also, use your voice. Don't forget to use your voice. Alright, let's get back to the video. So those three relationship types, obviously mutualism is the one that everybody would like, right? Where it's a give and take, it's a reciprocating relationship. One party is not being taken advantage of. One party is not being taken advantage of. All these wonderful and beautiful things are happening, right? I'm pouring into you, you're pouring into me, we're pouring into each other, we're advancing forward. However, what does a mutualistic relationship look like in real life, right? Does that mean that every time I say something, you agree with it, and every time you say something, I agree with it, and so we're just always in agreement? No. A mutualistic relationship honestly looks more like, hey, I know you may not want to hear this right now, but this would benefit you. This would help you. Let me help you by telling you something that you may not be comfortable hearing from somebody else, right? But because of the level of relationship that we have, right? The level of bond that we have, the level of chemistry that we have, allow me to say this to you so that you can not only grow, but you can develop as a person. You can develop financially, you can develop emotionally, you can develop mentally. You have to be constantly developing, right? That's the goal of life, is to grow, to become more than what you already are. A mutualistic relationship typically allows you to do that, because the same way you are pouring into someone else, someone is pouring into you. And this is the same in business, right? If we have a mutualistic relationship as business partners, then I want you to do as well as you can, because the better you do, the better I do, because that will be the better we do. So I'm going to tell you things. Hey, perhaps your marketing could be better if you did this, this, and this. Whereas you could tell me, hey, maybe your product would be better if you swap this for that. Right? And so I may not want to hear that at the time, but based on the relationship that we have, I understand that you have my best interest at heart. Right? And so because you have my best interest at heart, maybe it's worth listening to. Right? Maybe there's something to gain out of it for me. Right? Because we both are getting something out of this. However, what does a parasitic relationship look like? In real time, it's somebody being taken advantage of, right? So we all know that one person who maybe they're dating someone, and the person they're dating may take their car, use up all the gas, and then give it back to them without giving them any money, or ever refilling the tank, or ever getting an oil change, or ever getting a tire repaired, or ever getting, right? They don't put any effort or energy or time or finance into a project, yet they drain the project for all the benefits that it has, right? So that person is draining the person with the vehicle, right? Because they're not considering their time, they're not considering their efforts, they're not considering the financial burden they could be putting them in. They're only seeking the benefit of the transportation, right? So it's harming one person because one person is having to put more gas in the car. They're having to get the oil changed more. They're having to get tires more frequently, right? They're having to get routine checkups for their vehicle more regularly. And all of these things cost, and they're an inconvenience for sure for the person who owns the vehicle. Right, so that would be more of a parasitic relationship in real time. It looks like, hey, I am giving, and I'm never being poured back into. I'm just the people around me are just taking, and that can look very similar with family as well, right? You can have family members who, hey, I need advice, or hey, I need help, and so they pop up, they get the help, and then they're gone. Or, excuse me, they pop up, they get the help, they're gone. Or they only come around when they see something that may be beneficial for themselves, and so they're not there to reciprocate. They're only there to take, right? And then you have commensalism, of course, where, say, in business, it could be like I said, it could be recycling, where you're not consciously producing more waste so that you can help someone recycle and obtain a goal of recycling X amount of product per year. No. However, you are creating waste, and it doesn't harm the next person. However, it does create a benefit for those who are looking for things to recycle, or things to reuse, or things to be innovative with, and that's perfectly fine, right? That's more of a no harm, no foul type of relationship. And you see it a lot in business, where one person's trash is another person's treasure, right? That whole recycling process. So let's talk about it. What does a healthy relationship look like? We know what mutualism looks like. We know what commensalism looks like. We know what parasitism looks like. What does a healthy relationship look like, right? Does it have aspects of all three? Is there only aspects of one? Are there aspects of two? Like, what does a healthy relationship, family, friends, or business, actually look like? One, there has to be some type of mutualism in the relationship for it to be healthy, right? Now that can be because if not, one party just gets drained from the other being there. And I'll discuss further what I mean in just a second, but mutualism has to be one of the things there. So if we're talking about romantic relationships, if you are constantly the one planning the dates, and you're constantly the one buying the flowers, and you're constantly the one planning the activities, and you're doing all the things time and effort wise, and the other person just has to show up and attend, it's going to mentally, physically, and emotionally drain you over time, because you're never being poured back into. However, when I say that, I do not say that to mean that, oh, because you don't plan dates, or because you don't. What I'm saying is, you have to be considerate of the other person, because that's what planning out the dates are for, right? They're to show that, hey, I considered your time. I considered when you were free. I appreciate you enough that I actually thought to consider you in my time and my effort with my energy, right? And so, no, the other person may not plan dates. No, they may not buy the chocolates. No, they may not do the thing, whatever. But they may be thoughtful or considerate in other ways, right? Like, perhaps they see that you work a lot, so they're looking to perhaps purchase you things, or look to be of more convenience to your workday, right? Where, okay, now if say you work outside, maybe that person buys you something that keeps you cool when it's hot, or keeps you warm when it's cold, right? That's consideration. That's thinking of you. That's how can I help make your life easier, right? And so that goes both ways. And so that's a form of mutualism, where, Okay, I'm trying to make your life easier and you're trying to make my life easier. And that's in friendships, that's in family relationships, that's in romantic relationships. How can I make your life easier because you are also making my life easier? How can I reciprocate what you are giving, right? How can I take the gift that you gave me and keep giving, right? So in order for a relationship to be healthy, there has to be some form of mutualism. However, commensalism is going to be in there from time to time. And here's what I mean by that. Commensalism is a form of reproof. So that is somebody who maybe they are telling you something that is not going to benefit them at all. It's also not going to harm them, right? But it will benefit you. And so we have to learn to have those tough conversations with each other, whether that be family, friends, or spouse, right? How can I have this tough conversation with you and get you to understand that I'm telling you this so that it can benefit you, and I'm telling you this because I love you, and I'm telling you this because I care about you, while also getting the other person to understand, hey, it doesn't mean that you are less than. It doesn't mean that you are falling short of anything. It just simply means, hey, I see more for you. I think your potential is higher than what you're already showing, right? And so I also want to encourage you, if you're listening to this right now, to also be receiving, right? Okay, you said that I don't clean up. What do you mean by that? I'm a clean person. Well, they never attacked your character. They attacked your habit, right? And your habit is, you have a habit of putting things in places that they may or may not go. And so you need to evaluate, hey, when you said I'm not cleaning up, or I have a habit of being unclean, in some shape, form, or fashion. And what shape, form, or fashion are you speaking? And what did you actually mean by that? Do you mean that I am as a person, am not clean? And if they care about you, that's probably not what they mean, right? It's not that you're not a clean person. It's that you may not have clean habits, right? Maybe you don't wash your hands after you use the bathroom. Maybe you don't wash your hands before you cook. And maybe these are things that you've never taken note of before that day, before that person said something about it. And so instead of you being so uptight that you cannot receive the information, and you end up surrounding yourself with a bunch of yes men or yes women, instead being able to take that reproof and evaluate it and look at it and truly say, hey, is this a place I'm falling short? And if the answer to that is yes, then do I want to fix it, right? Because just because it's a problem doesn't mean that you have to fix it, right? You are not going to be perfect. And so that's okay. However, you can strive to be better every day. So you personally have to make the decision. Is this advice making me better? Or do I think that by taking this advice, I will become perfect? And if you're going to become perfect, don't take the advice. But if you're going to become better, take the advice and work on applying it. Don't just take it and put it in your back pocket. Actually look to apply it. So a healthy relationship is going to have mutualism, where both of you are doing things for each other so that you are both refreshing each other's energy. But it's also going to come with a level of commensalism, where I'm going to reproof you, and it does nothing for me to reproof you. It does nothing for me to constructively criticize you. However, I'm going to do it anyway because of the benefit that it gives to you. I want to see you do better than what you are currently doing. I think that by doing this, you can be better than what you are, right? Parasitism. A healthy relationship does not have parasitism, because it cannot last, right? The only way that one party benefits is at the detriment of another, right? So the only way, perfect example is the casino. The only way the casino stays open is if there are losers. If there are no losers, there is no casino. So the same way that people go to the casino to win, to make the money, they only make the money by having losers. They aren't built on winners. Same thing with sports books. They're not built on winners. So you going and building a relationship there, a strong relationship, may not be in your best interest, because typically the more the sports book or the casino likes you, the bigger the loser you are, right? And I don't mean that in a name calling way. I mean that in a literal sense. Like, you've lost more money, right? That's why they enjoy your presence, because you come and you give them your money. So be very, very careful with what relationships you are allowing. Think about not only the relationships you allow in your personal life, but again, in your business life, in your career. Just because you work with someone and you have a business relationship does not mean you have to have a personal relationship with that person. Now, it would be great if that person was of high character and you saw benefit in adding them to your friend group to be able to talk to on a personal level. But just because you work at the same place as someone else, or because you two work in the same career field, does not necessarily mean that you two would match to be a healthy relationship. Just because of your area of work. So keep that in mind as well. Build barriers with your friends, with your business associates. Like, build barriers so that everybody understands what they can and cannot do, what they can and cannot say to you, how to address you, right? Building that mutualism, building that commensalism, and keeping the parasitism as far away as possible, right? We don't want the negative, but hey, if you want to tell me something that I may not be seeing, or that you think I can do better, and you can constructively criticize me on it, I'd love that, right? Or, hey, I saw that you helped me by, I didn't have business cards, you just got me business cards. I didn't ask you to, but you did it anyway. So now I'm gonna go and I'm going to buy breakfast, buy you a breakfast or something, right? So it's okay, you poured into me, I poured into you, and those are the type of relationships that you want. Those are the type of relationships that last a lifetime, because the energy is in a constant circle. It doesn't have to be lost, right? If I give something away, I no longer have it. But if I give something and I get something at the same time, I'll always have something, right? So, what have we learned here today? Hopefully you guys look at the relationships that you have in your life, and you really sit down and you break down each relationship. Hey, how is this relationship beneficial to me? How is this relationship beneficial to the other person? I'm gonna say it one more time. How is this relationship beneficial to the other person? Right? Am I being the parasite? Am I the only one that's getting something out of this? Ask those questions. All of these are important. So yeah, actually go through, make a list. Family, friends, co-workers, business associates, whatever you want to call them. Make a list of everybody you regularly encounter on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis, and ask yourself, what type of relationship do we have? Is it a mutualistic relationship? Is it a parasitic relationship? Or is it a relationship of commensalism? You have to answer that question. Only you can draw that out. Nobody can tell you, hey, this person should be part of your network, or that person shouldn't be part of your network. Only you can determine that based on what type of relationship you have. But first, you have to figure out what type of relationship you have. And on that, we're going to sip our tea. Peace.